All right, guys. Well, we have some incredible people with us today. Pretty excited to jump in. We met you guys, 5 or 6 years ago at conference. And
crazy.
It's been awesome doing a bunch of ministry with you. And then you finally convinced your wife to come and hang out with us too.
100%.
Which has been
the best
even better.
ever.
It's like, are we going to bring Kels back? Well, is he bringing his wife?
Wow. That's crazy.
As long as she's here, he can come. We still need to meet Ruby. But that'll be awesome when we finally get to meet her.
100%.
Yeah,
next time.
Way excellent.
Goal. She's everything excellent.
She's much better than
My
the both
mom
of us
is
put
the
together.
best. She's the queen
100%.
herself.
You can tell, like, her emails are so excellent. I'm like, dang, like, we got up our game, guys. This is so excellent. This is so
She's
good.
going to love to
She
hear
misses
this.
nothing ever. I just,
oh no, she doesn't.
seems like she's probably like a really like awesome church mother too.
Oh, 100%.
Like she's gonna give you a hug.
Yes.
Yeah, she's gonna give you a hug,
mama.
feed you,
Yes.
and then probably correct you, and you're gonna like thank you.
You're like, oh wow,
100%.
you didn't even realize it happened.
That was
You're like,
really.
wow,
I love
was this
you.
my idea? Or
That's her.
I don't
That's
know.
her.
That's so
all day
funny.
long.
But this is not about your mom today. As much as we could probably make it about her.
Next episode.
Next one.
Next one. Part 2.
But no. So we've been doing Til Death podcast. Really focusing on marriage.
Yeah.
Really want to make sure this generation is equipped for marriage.
Yeah.
Because it's not at all. It is what we see online, what we see on TV. The divorces, left, right, center, all over the world and the church. We just need to do better at it.
Come on.
And we want to help. And we would love to just get some insight from you guys.
Yeah.
So we're going to throw Haley the ball first and ask, like, tell us, where did it start? Tell us the love story.
Oh my goodness,
Wow.
the ball is in my court. If I'm telling the story, it's going to be like 3 hours long. I'm not going to lie. He is the much faster storyteller of our love story. But we met at a wedding through mutual friends. So that was already like God performing miracle, another one, because he does miracles at weddings. And it was quite the miracle because I was so like not even looking for anything at the time. I was like so content in my singleness. But God definitely spoke to me because it turned into complacency. It turned into me putting up walls around my heart, thinking I'm doing God a favor, you know, I'm guarding my heart.
I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah. And God said, I will never forget. It was right around the time I met him, like just after I met him. And he's like, don't allow the walls you put around your heart to become your prison. That's keeping people out.
That's good.
So I was like, okay, God, enters him. Yeah. And we met through mutual friends. And it was,
wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
I'll let you
Most
speak.
definitely.
I'll let you speak first.
Most definitely.
So he's like, I'm going to pursue you. He's telling people, our friends, he's going to pursue me. And I'm like, what is he talking about? Who is this guy? He's just as amazing and wonderful as he is. And I was just like, what? So I tried the friend zone method.
She tried.
I tried.
man.
Word
And
tried.
failed. She
Tried.
failed.
I failed.
You know?
Miserable. I was
No weapon formed.
No weapon formed. No weapon formed.
The weapon was formed. It didn't prosper.
It did not prosper.
He said, nah, not this guy.
No. No. And he, but it was just his patient pursuit of my heart. I was very like, I'm just going to watch and see, like, what is his intentions? Like, where does this go? And he was such a reflection of God's heart for me, his patience in pursuing me and getting to know me. And I was like, wow. Like, he just kept pointing me back to Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what? It wasn't even like weird. You know, like sometimes people be like,
it's
God,
you're trying to disciple me?
Yes. Like, what is going on? Listen, not the discipleship program.
All right.
No. But I was like, it's crazy. Crazy.
See, this is where.
And this is what we deal with. And this is our life. Okay. And we chose to be here. We love it here.
Yeah.
We love it here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so he was awesome. We met at a wedding through mutual friends, like we said. It was totally a setup. We were the only ones in the wedding party not married or dating someone. We're the only two singles.
Yeah.
And we came into the wedding single, and then I left the wedding wearing his jacket. So I was cold.
She was covered.
I was covered.
It was cold.
And we were friends. We became friends first, and then we got together. We dated for what, babe, a year and a half?
Yeah, about
and
a year
then
and a half.
Got engaged and then married, and we've been married for 8 years in December.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
thank
you. So I think that's pretty much.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I could talk forever about it.
It was a quick
I tried to bridge it.
She's
I could talk forever about it.
Conference is over.
It's my favorite story because I just feel like God, he showed up so much in those. He spoke so much into our hearts about just like being dependent on him, waiting on him, him revealing it to us in his season, and it not us trying to like figure it out and like make it work. It was just Holy Spirit breathed. It was really cool. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick before we hear Kel's side, can you describe a little more on where your heart was in responding to the Lord in singleness? Because I think a lot of people do, and I think it's a healthy place to accept it. But
totally,
can you describe or just let us know how it got from a healthy place to,
So it started out definitely in obedience. Like my heart was in the right place.
Right.
And sometimes we have to be careful about like our intentions being good, but God not needing our help with what he's telling us to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, the first step was obedience. I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to use this singleness to glorify you. I'm going to focus on you.
Yeah.
But then it turned into like in my own, like I'm keeping everybody out because I think like, oh, this is, God, I'm helping you. Like, I don't need this relationship. I don't need this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, while my intention was in the right place and like thinking this was what God wanted me to do, it turned from like obedience to just like I don't know, it wasn't me listening to him anymore. I was listening to my own voice. So it became me thinking like, okay, I'm doing this.
Yeah. So almost
on my own.
Almost like a sense of pride almost. Like,
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I didn't see that at the time until like God was being so patient and so kind with me. And he's like, girl, I got this. Like, I don't need you to do like, you're good. Good job being obedient, but listen to my voice. If I'm telling you to take the next step, take the next step. And I was staying where I was because I was like, well, God, this is what it's almost like you need to every day he's giving us new grace, right? Sure, every day he's giving us a fresh word. And I was so content in the word he had given me. I wasn't ready to step into what he was calling me to. So it was like, but I was telling myself I wasn't ready, but I was ready. It was like, don't allow my own self to talk myself out of what he's telling me to do next.
Yeah.
You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, that you don't hear that touched on a lot of like, well, actually, I was really content in my singleness that I was like, nah.
No, a lot of people say
these
like,
walls are going up now and I'm solid. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Or they almost glorify their singleness now. It's either they struggle super hard with it and they don't want to be there, or it's like,
I'll never need
I don't need anybody ever. And it's like, well,
no, too
Pump
far.
the brakes.
Too far.
Okay. So I think that's awesome.
A lot of times that's it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
All right, let's hear it from the storyteller.
Oh my God.
So much better at it than me.
No, I mean, she hit the nail on the head. We definitely, of course, met at a wedding. And I think I had just come off a year of being single as well. But I think I was in a season of like, all right, God, I want what's next. And I knew that what's next would only come after me being married. I do think that there are some things that don't unlock in your life until you are married.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because there's just some levels you can't ascend to until you are tethered with somebody that can refine you.
Oh, that's good.
And I think getting married, well, I know getting married now, looking back 8 years in, it's refined me over the years. And so, you know, I pursued God. I said, God, if this is what you want, I'm going to make the decision to say, this is my wife. And I think a lot of guys get caught up in this, I'm waiting for God to tell me this is my wife cycle. Right. When in fact, God never even told Adam that Eve is his wife. Yeah. Adam named her. Adam said, this is bone of my bone. This is flesh of my flesh. Because God gave him the responsibility of saying, whatever you call that thing, that's what it's going to be. And so sometimes it's on us men to say, Now I'm pursuing you. Like, forget everything else. You're the one that I want. And then God would put his hand on that.
That's good.
And so I think that was the season that I was in. I was like, no, this is it. Like, I'm going. I'm going. This is the one. This is the one I want. So
there you go.
That's kind of where I would say it all landed and it all stemmed from.
That's awesome. So 8 years in is big.
Yeah,
there's like some divorce points, right? So the first year is normally a mess for a lot of people. And we're big on like the first year doesn't have to be miserable.
It doesn't.
I hate how people say that. It's so miserable.
That's exactly where we are.
It's only miserable if you're selfish.
100%.
100%. That is the root of it. We really started the pod just on that point. Like the first year doesn't have to be terrible.
It doesn't
Please
have
stop
to be.
believing the lie. It's wild, but 8 years in is awesome. Huge win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And probably another 72 left at least.
Man.
At least another 72. Minimum 72.
At 72, she's got to re-sign the contract.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. We'll see what happens.
It's a player contract.
We'll
though.
see.
All right. So what are some things you guys have done practically to make sure your marriage is healthy, it's good, and you're happy? And that's big. What are some really practical things you guys have built into your marriage for that?
That's good.
Oh my God. I would say the wisdom of older marriages.
Oh my gosh,
So smart.
yes.
One of the top things we do is anybody that's been married longer than we have, we always ask, what have you done?
Yeah.
And we apply their wisdom.
So smart.
Because how foolish would it be of us to live life absent of the wisdom of people that have gone before us? It doesn't have to be that hard, because if you get the tools that you need up front, then you're not going to avoid it. You'll just know how to fight when it shows up.
So good.
That's what I would say has been one of our hallmark things.
That's what I was going to say, honestly. I'm so grateful that God has surrounded us, and we made an intentional decision to surround ourselves with people who have been married longer than we have. Because it's like, we don't have to do this life alone. We don't have to figure it out by ourselves. I think the world does what it does and tries to define and tell us, you know, what marriage looks like. But when you have people that are rooted in God's word and are cheering you on and want to see you succeed and finish the race well, it's like, okay, why wouldn't you go to that and get some wisdom? So we don't have to figure it out by ourselves, because we do not know everything. You're not even close.
Right.
We don't know what we're doing. We're like, help us, please.
Right.
So what are you looking for in those couples that you gravitate to for wisdom? What are some of those markers where it's like they need to do X, Y, Z to be someone that I want to take advice from?
There are couples who are married, and then there are couples who are together.
Yes. Amen.
That's a great point.
Woo. Yes.
We look for couples who
so
are
good.
together, who move at the same cadence, who know who are anchored in their marriages. And those are the ones that we gravitate to, because that's what we want to model. We want to model being together. I think one of the most consistent things in our marriage, and I take it as a compliment, is when people see me, the first thing they ask is, where's Hallie?
So
because
sweet.
they know we operate in such a tandem that if I'm in a place and she's not there, it feels
like,
weird. People are like, where is
That's great.
Like, there's supposed to be somebody else with you, and it's been like that since day one for us. So we always look for people who are together, because you can see how fortified their marriage really is, versus people who are just married and just kind of existing like you know, like
In the same house.
you're in the same house but you're not together. Like, there's no vision, there's no structure, there is no like cohesion to what you guys are doing. So that's what we really look for, is couples that are together.
Good answer. Yep.
It is a good answer.
That was it.
It's perfect. What are some non-negotiables that you guys have in your marriage? Like, is it, hey, we're going on date night every week? It is. Like, what are some of those non-negotiables for you guys? Some things where it's like, these are things we hold strong to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
You go.
You go.
I'm like, are we trying to get spicy?
Sure,
Whoa.
do it. Yo, look, we're being honest here. We're being honest here. These
Devotionals.
people need, they need
Are we
good
trying to be
advice from
spicy
healthy
on
men.
the Til Death podcast?
Yeah.
So we definitely are together
Yes.
Yeah.
in the biblical sense.
Yeah.
At least
She said we're biblical.
And we're biblical.
We're biblical.
we are biblical
Attaboy.
at least 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our, now that's not for everybody,
Yeah.
but that's
Yep.
just what we decided.
So smart.
Can I
Like
jump
that.
in real quick?
Yeah.
Yes.
We just recently heard from a marriage mentor that they have a 48-hour rule
Yes.
that you can only, if you deny for whatever reason, you're tired, like we
Headache.
give grace
It's been
to
a long
that.
day.
You got a
One
headache.
person could be in the mood, the other person's like, I'm
Right.
tired. You know,
Yeah.
that's real life.
We give grace to that because, you know, you're still a human being and you go through stuff, but you've got 48 hours to respond.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we,
Okay.
we
Yeah.
gotta
Okay,
fix
clock's
this in
starting
40
now.
Shaking.
That's fine. 48 hours. You got it.
Blood coming.
the sign
That's
that-
crazy.
And so it's happening in 48 hours. You got get yourself
Yes.
together.
Yeah, get
Yes.
yourself together.
And we're
Hype yourself
doing
up.
it.
Yeah.
Hype
Yeah,
yourself up.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that does give a little bit of time. It's like if
Yeah.
you know, there's like some things you might want to do to hype yourself. Get yourself prepared.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
So, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So then that's what we initiate. We
Yep.
It's like, okay, if we're not ready at the second, we have 48 hours to make good on our request.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with
You
that.
gotta make good.
Absolutely. No, I think
No,
that's
but
great.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
something we do. We do a date once a week.
Yep.
Good.
We have intentional friendships that we check in with,
Yep.
like to do life together,
Yep.
couples.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For accountability and
Yep.
friendship, like so we have like couples that are older than us, and then we also have like friendships that
Yeah.
we cultivate. So we make it intentional to like have couple friends.
No,
We don't
good.
really have friends that they're just my friends and they're just his friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just something that's important to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
We laugh a lot.
We joke. We
Love
don't
it.
take ourselves too seriously.
No.
Yeah.
We have a lot of jokes. Yeah.
We allow ourselves to be pastored. We allow our marriage to be pastored. Like our pastor speaks into our marriage.
It's good.
When just recently he was like, I need to see your budget. I need to see what you're
Like
dreaming
realistic
about.
things. Yeah.
Like,
And
what do
dreams.
you want your family? I want to see it so I can speak into it. Because trying to do this thing alone is just,
Right.
you don't have to. And I think a lot of couples don't allow their marriage to be pastored, and they end up going through
Yeah, that's so
inadvertently
true.
because you don't have anybody that can see further than you. And so all you see is right now, but you're not being pastored until it's too late. And so that's one of our non-negotiables. Like we are pastored. What do you want to see out of us? How should our lives be? And they're the model. Like
Right.
we sit down and we're like, who do we want our marriage to look like? Oh, we want to look like that? Then this is what we've got to do.
Yeah.
So smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
We
I
also
love it.
do like weekly check-ins.
Yes.
So a non-negotiable is like we call it like Marriage Monday.
Yeah.
And we sit down and we check in on topics like our sex life, our finances, our emotional health, our mental health, physical health. Is there anything else, babe? Emotional, physical, sexual, relational. So we
Yeah.
just check in on
We just
all
check
of those
in. Yeah.
things, and
Check
we're like,
in.
"Where are you
Yeah.
at?"
Yeah.
And then we just talk about how we can. So we call it like our love tank, and if our
Smart.
love
Yeah.
tank is
Yeah,
empty,
yeah.
we
Yes.
talk
Yep.
about how to fill
Yeah.
those areas that
Yes.
are like lacking.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
That's
also
good.
a non-negotiable we do weekly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's really good.
Smart. It's really healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I like
awesome.
it.
It's intentional.
100%.
Yeah.
That's the win. It's just intentionality.
Intentionality.
It's not on accident,
Yep.
and it's out of relationship. I love that.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah.
Go ahead, babe.
What were you gonna say?
No, you're good because I could go.
I know. We know. They know.
We know.
All right. So we already
Forgive
did
me
that.
right now.
We already did that.
We did it. We did it. We went there.
Yeah. Okay. So what have been some obstacles or challenges that you face?
Oh, that's good. Well, I feel like we still fighting one particular obstacle. We are on a fertility journey.
Yes.
Like early on in our marriage,
Yes.
my wife went through an ectopic pregnancy, and we've been battling that ever since. And, a lot of marriages don't come back from something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of grieving. There's a lot of blaming, whether it's yourself or your spouse. Like marriages don't bounce back from that easy. But what we decided to do was use that moment to say, God, however you're going to take this and use it for your glory, like we're good with it. So that we that's what we're fighting daily. As we celebrate our friends getting pregnant,
Absolutely.
Celebrate them having a second baby, as we celebrate, people that aren't even living right having to we have to
all
we
the
have to
mindsets.
continue to submit that to the cross.
Totally.
It's so that way we can be healed and whole.
So good.
And we're not rushing each other to have some sort of response or have some sort of outlook. It's like, where are you at right now?
Yep.
How do you feel right now?
Yep.
You good? Okay. You're not? All right, let's what do we need to do to make sure your mind is at ease, and still believe that God will do what he said he would do.
Yeah. Well, if you guys don't want to go here, just that's fine.
We will go.
We will go.
I know a couple people who really struggle with this, and then it made getting biblical not fun because it turned into work, and then because it turned into a job, they actually started to seek the fun part of intimacy elsewhere.
Yep.
For that thrill amount of rush.
100%.
And I think this
That's
is such
so
a
true.
super healthy conversation to
Yes.
expose and bring up.
Yes.
So can you kind of speak to how do you not put that pressure, not live with that, keep it kind of fun and not a job, not work? Because even the stress from what I had a couple conversations, even the stress can eliminate the ability to become
100%.
pregnant. And the whole thing just gets wildly stressful. So can you guys speak to that for a minute?
I think we did try that for
We did.
a week.
Yeah.
And
You're
they were
like, this
"Nope,
isn't gonna work.
That's not gonna work. It's not gonna work because it would be on us to make it happen.
100%. Yeah.
And if we want God to get glory out of this, it has to be on him.
It's good.
Yes.
So Jesus gets word that Lazarus is dead.
Yep.
And reading the story for face value, it can seem like Jesus is a bad friend because he doesn't go immediately to check on Lazarus.
Wow.
So much so that by the time he shows up, it's been 4 days. Mary and Martha both come out to him and say, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. He gets to the grave and calls Lazarus out. But we have to deal with the fact, why did Jesus delay showing up? He delayed showing up because it was Jewish custom that if anything happened before 3 days, he would be legally declared alive. He wasn't legally declared dead until after 3 days. Jesus knows this. And so he says, if I step in too soon, I won't get glory. So if we step in too soon, God can't get glory. If we're trying to work and we're trying to do the thing, then he can't get glory. So we've decided that we won't put that pressure on our biblical life. We'll just have fun. And whatever he does, he's going to do.
He's going to do it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
He already has a plan. The story is already
That's
written.
so wise.
Yeah.
It's going to help so many people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have
What a
fun.
perspective.
So have fun.
Have
So
fun.
have fun.
Have fun. Be fruitful.
Yeah, and honestly, the word is so true. His promises are so true. When he talks about making our burdens light, when we lay them down, he really does. And he gives us a supernatural peace. It doesn't mean it's perfect all the time, but we're honest with where we're at, Kels was saying, and we give it to God, and he really does meet us there. He
100%.
really does. He's so faithful, and it causes us to be able to have that refreshing of his promises for us, his plans for us, and we're able to move forward with that peace and that just fun. Instead of feeling again, it's all on our own strength, it's all on our own might to figure it out. And of course, we're all about like, getting tests done and like figuring
Yeah.
out what's going on.
Yeah.
And we've been on this journey a little over 6 years.
Yeah.
So we've done IVF and we've done different things, gotten different procedures, and we've had 2 pregnancy losses, and it's been tough, but it doesn't negate that God is good.
Absolutely.
And that he still has a plan, and we're just going to trust him. We're going to trust him.
Absolutely.
And that's
Yep.
what we've decided.
Yeah.
And it's a decision and it's a perspective that I'm going to trust God in the face of this thing I'm facing, no matter what happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even if we came to the place, I think this freed us so much, is yes, we believe he's going to do it. We believe it.
Yeah.
No question about it. But it's like, even if he doesn't, he's still good.
He's still good.
So
Yeah.
it gives us so much peace. You're like, God is
Right.
still good. He's
Either way.
still
Either
going to
way.
get glory out of
Yeah.
our life.
Either way.
He's still going to get glory out of this story and this journey.
You guys are
So
gonna have like the most gifted baby ever. it's gonna be unfair
Honestly,
for the world.
yeah.
The most
We
gifted
receive
child
it.
ever.
that's
Well,
so sweet.
Listen, guys, we're standing with you.
Thank you.
We believe it. And we can't wait
Thank
to
you.
celebrate that.
Yeah,
So,
it's going to be a party.
100%. It's
It'll be so
literally going to be a
fun.
party.
yeah.
Yeah.
So excited for you guys.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
gonna start wrapping up a little bit.
Okay.
What would? Thank you.
Aw,
Chief
the
servant.
A helpmate.
Helpmate.
Come
Very
on.
biblical
The
woman.
most biblical woman.
Oh man, what would you guys say to younger marriages? What would you? 1 or 2 pieces of advice to
I love that.
younger marriage
It's great.
to make sure they're good, they're on the right road,
Yep.
and they're hitting full cylinders
Yeah.
with what God put together.
My pastor preached a message called Insecurities, and it was a finance message. But he said something in that message that I just couldn't let it stick with finance. Like I just felt like it needed to
The
apply.
life principle.
Yeah, it was a life principle. He says you've got to anchor today, silence yesterday, so you can secure tomorrow.
Yep.
Oftentimes we're trying to silence yesterday and we don't even have today anchored. We're drifting. We're like, there's no vision, there's no goal, there's nothing because we're too busy dealing with yesterday.
Yeah.
You've got
Past,
to anchor.
mistakes,
Yeah.
whatever.
You've got to
Yeah.
anchor today. And then you can silence yesterday. You can
Yep.
go back and say, hey, here's what we've learned. Here's how we've grown.
Deal with heartbreak, traumas,
Yeah.
things that happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you're anchored already.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Then you can secure the future.
So good.
You've got to have a vision for your marriage.
Have
There's a
to.
scripture that says, where there is no vision, one version says the people cast off restraint and
Yeah.
stumble over themselves.
That's right.
And so a lot of marriages are stumbling over themselves because they have no vision. They're casting off
Yeah.
restraint.
Yeah.
They have no boundaries because they have no vision.
So true.
you've got to develop a vision for your marriage. Where are you going? What are you doing?
Yes.
And how are you going to get there?
is good.
So that way, when you are making decisions, you're not making opinionated decisions. You're making vision decisions.
Yes.
When you're in
on where you're going.
arguments,
Wait, yeah.
you're not pointing out an opinion. You're like, hey,
So good.
this is how we respond because of vision. We don't yell and scream and cuss each other out because of vision.
Yeah.
Not because I don't like the way you communicate, but it's
Yes.
not on vision.
Come on.
So
Yeah.
you've got to anchor today, silence yesterday, and then you can secure tomorrow.
That's good.
I love it.
Yeah.
And if I could add anything, just don't give up. I think
Yep.
it's so easy to it's
Yeah.
the easier
Oh
road
yeah. Oh yeah.
to give up.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
right now, in alignment with what he's saying, like feels like everything. It's like whatever you're facing right now feels like your whole world. And it's like, I truly believe that if we can have faith for our futures and we can focus on all of those areas, but truly believe that God has more
Yeah.
beyond whatever you're facing in this current moment,
Right.
you won't throw in the towel. Your marriage is worth
Yes.
it. Fight for each other
Yeah.
and not with each other. That's
good.
something we've decided is we're going to fight for this. We're not going to fight each other. We're on the same team.
Absolutely.
So if you
yeah.
remember, you're on the same team, you're going after it together. It focuses you, it centers you, and just keep your eyes on Jesus, keep your
Yeah.
eyes on the cross, and you'll be able to finish well.
It's good.
Yep.
You have any
Yeah.
wrap-up questions?
We see. This is hard because we do these like
Yeah.
quick
Yeah.
because we could just really get into some topics, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you have anything else?
No, I love it. It was very
I thought it was really clear.
cool.
Yeah.
I love
Good
it.
to the
Easy,
point,
practical.
and
Let's go.
some nice, easy, quick grabs for
Yeah.
people to really kind of grab and say, you know what, we could try that. So
Good.
Thank
thank
God.
you guys for
Thank you.
coming and
Thank
joining
y'all
us
so
and
much.
encouraging other married couples. So.
Yeah.
I would say too, like, go and follow the both of them. I don't think you don't really post.
I
too
know.
much, do you?
I took a break.
Come on,
Listen, can y'all spam her in the chat?
girl. Yeah, come on, spam
Say
her.
post Hallie post.
Make her post.
Jeez.
Come on.
Gosh.
Go follow them on everything. Are you still doing the River Network? Is on pause for now, and then it's gonna get running.
We're anchoring today so we can secure tomorrow.
Yes, cool. Well, look, go follow that because it's a great vision, and when that gets running and hitting hard, it's going to be so valuable for people as well.
Yeah.
But we love you guys. We're really
love
We love
We're
you
grateful
guys.
to do life
and
with
jump
you.
in and
Thank
Listen.
you.
do this. And we're gonna
Yes,
have to go to the Bible Museum soon.
Y'all have to come.
gonna be
Come
awesome.
hang out in
Yes,
DC.
come to DC.
Soon.
We're going to the Bible
close.
Museum.
Yeah,
It's
it's easy.
close.
Soon.
Come on.
Come on.
Y'all are the
Awesome.
best. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
having
no,
us.
thank you guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy. See you guys.
See ya.